beauties. So today I'm going to be talking about my fourth book, Close Your Eyes Gently and Think of Good Things. I am at the gallery today. I work and have my things up at Snakestone Studios, which is in Truth or Consequences. So if you're in New Mexico, if you're ever in the area, please stop by. We're downtown. So all this is my art. I've got more art over there, but I thought what better of a backdrop than my own art. So I wrote this book July 31st, 2023. And yesterday it went live on Amazon, August 12th, 2023. So that's 13 days of working on it, writing it, illustrating it, having it be edited, editing myself, formatting it, and then doing the process of the uploading and all of that jazz to KDP. So if you don't know, KDP is Kindle Direct Publishing. It's through Amazon, it's a service through Amazon, and it's a way to have your books be printed on demand. So if you want one of these books, then you go on my Amazon shop and you can purchase one of these books and they will print it and send it to you. There's not some big bulk storage facility where all of these books are just piled up and collecting dust. They are printed on demand. So it saves me money of having to have bulk printing done in printing. And it ultimately saves you money. I get a higher royalty than printing them, I mean, in some ways, traditionally, because it would take a lot of time for me to be able to go through that process. I've already reached out to dozens of literary agents and have submitted what is called unsolicited, which means not managed by an agency, so unsolicited submissions through certain publishers. And so this one I just wrote, just quickly illustrated it, had it edited, and it's here in my hands. I don't have to wait a year plus for it to be available. And this is the type of stuff that I'm saying to my kids right now. I want them to be able to read it, to have it forever. So this particular book is 8.5 by 8.5 inches. And my last book, so I've done 4 books. This is my 4th book. My first book I did April of last year. It's an activities book about composting. I originally just did it for myself, for teaching local kids and for my own children. And then I was inspired by my mom to have it self-published. I got some printed by a company in Michigan. They did a really excellent job. But the cost for me was more than having it printed on KDP. So I ultimately, when I got done with those copies, I ultimately went with KDP. Then I did this chapter book, so this one is paper size 8.5 by 11. And then this is 6 inches by 9 inches tall. And this is a chapter book. It has some illustrations of mine in here. This is a story that I essentially started writing, not really this exact story, but a family of this story in 2006. So those books are actually going to come after these, even though I wrote them way back in 2006. I'm getting to it. This is like the prequel to that story. And at the same time that I did this one, roughly like a few days apart, I also did this one, which took me hardly any time, maybe less than a month, a few weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks from start to finish. Again, I was really proud and surprised at how quickly it all came together. But then yesterday, when I saw that this went live, I was like, that's only 13 days. That's so incredible. Not that it's a race, it's not a competition. It was just interesting for myself to see how capable I am of doing this work. And I'm really proud of it. I'll kind of go through like a step-by-step of how I did it. So to start, I got the idea the morning. I usually wake up like 5, 6 o'clock, and then my kids don't wake up until 9:30 sometimes. And so I have these chunks of time in the morning. Sometimes my daughter will come in and fall back asleep on me on the couch, but generally speaking, I have a couple hours to do some work or play. I kind of twiddle around a lot. But that morning I wrote this book. It's, I think, almost 400 words. And I broke it up by pages. So I do like a little chunk of words, and then I do another little chunk, not quite a paragraph of words. And so then I know how many illustrations that I need to do. I chose some of the illustrations I did of pictures of my own children, and then myself. This is a self-portrait of my children and myself, which is on this page also. And so I did those illustrations while I'm putting a call out to other parents to get photos of their children sleeping. And some of them, I got 6 other submissions. Some of them are friends, and then also 2 of my followers from Instagram had submitted. So it's a really cool like community opportunity to take part in something that you'll have forever, and you can continue to read it. It's kind of timeless in my own opinion. It's not really something that will age out. This is I would read this. I mean, I love children's books though, so I may be a little bit partial. But so I started asking for submissions. I got a few, I turned some down, and then I started doing some more illustrations. It's 13 total illustrations, including that this is the same one as the inside. And then I also formatted and designed the back and front and the copyright page and the front page. So in total, I think it's 28 pages because it's an even number. And then I illustrated the drawings in Procreate, which is an app on my tablet. I have an iPad, and Procreate is like 10 bucks for a lifetime. It's incredible. I was kind of priced out of the Adobe Creative Suite, so this is perfect for me. I'm able to illustrate the imagery, and then I'm also able to format some things. This last book, I did it all in Procreate, and then I put it into Pages to lay out the pages and make it into a PDF to be submitted onto KDP. This time, however, I just did the imagery, the illustrations on Procreate, and then I did all of the text in Canva, because essentially it's the same background color and same font for all those text pages. So I just took the same page and duplicated it, and then changed the text, and that way it stays in the same place. Okay, it's been about an hour. I had a customer come in and we just talked and talked and talked. All right, so back to where I was. So when I develop the pages, when I get the files ready for the pages, I make sure that I have the right size. I actually make the files quite a bit larger than the actual the necessary file size in Procreate when I do the illustrations. But when I bring it into Pages, I make sure that the page on Pages is the right size format. So it's 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And then that way I have a little bit higher quality illustrations than the book. That way I can go up to 10, 12 inches of book if I needed to have it be larger for whatever reason in the future. Okay, so I kind of want to talk about the border and the bleed also. So everything goes to the edge, but the bleed, they like to have it so that there's nothing really happening super close to the edges of the book, because sometimes you get like misprints and things get cut off and you don't want that. So I try to make it, I think it's like roughly a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch. Nothing is right near the edge of the book. And there's instructionals, there's plenty of instructionals here on YouTube where people can break down the formatting and all that stuff, information for you. Another thing I have is there's like the front page, and I love in pages, forgive this, let me show you this one a little better. I love how in pages, it shows them the pages side by side. So you can see it's like 2-page setup or something like that. And so it shows what the book is going to look like. In the pages is the app, just in case I didn't mention that before. It's an application that I have on my computer. I have Apple products, so it's there's lots of other programs that you can use to format your book. I use Pages, which is Apple product, I believe. So then I have a short little bio. I have the other books that I have in my series, not really a series, in my shop or online. And then I have all of the copyright information. And then a couple little things in the back, little summary, some illustrations, and then I have my ISBN number. So let me talk a little bit about ISBN numbers, just in case you're not familiar with self-publishing. Traditional publishing, your publishing house will take care of ISBNs, all the copyright stuff. And usually if you're an author, they'll take care of the illustrations, and if you're an illustrator, they'll take care of the author stuff. If you're both, they make sure that you're doing everything that you need to be doing in order to get the book looking right. So in self-publishing world, there's not one of those people. And so you have to do all of that stuff yourself. You have to be an editor. You have to include other people to edit. Fortunately for me, I have people that have English backgrounds, and so they can look at it as a favor to me, especially short books like this, or books that they're interested in reading, actually like reading my stuff, which is very fortunate that happens that way. And so you have to kind of format the book, which can be difficult, but I have experience with graphic design. The traditional publishing house, they'll take care of you. When you self-publishing, you have to have ISBNs. There are ways where you can go around that and not purchase ISBNs. I do not recommend it. So, for example, KDP, Barnes & Noble, and Ingram Spark are the 3 print-on-demand companies that I have experience with. They all offer their own ISBN numbers. However, if you want to go and take back kind of control at some point, dealing with those ISBN numbers can be a little bit seedy. So I suggest purchasing some of your own ISBNs. I bought a bulk pack of 10, and so you need one generally for paperback. Hardcover, if you're gonna have a hardcover of the same book. Ebook, if you have, I'm not sure about the audiobooks, if they need a separate ISBN or not. And sometimes people don't even bother having any kind of ISBN on their ebook, although who knows if that's beneficial or not. I know that I did for my ebook, I put one of my ISBNs on. I did I have both of these available as ebook. I'm considering having this one available eventually as an ebook as well. It's a little bit different process making those files. You can take the files that you made the book with and convert them to a PDF or an EPUB, which makes it readable across devices. or you can, if you have a lot of text, you can kind of input. And then KDP also has this application where you can essentially make the book again, but in the form of a ebook. So lots of options out of there. So I'll walk you through a little bit of the KDP setup. So I talked a little bit about ISBNs. That's one of the first things that comes up. Do you have your own ISBN or do you want to use theirs? The name of the book, the subtitle of the book, title of the book, subtitle of the book, and then description of the book, all of those things. What else is in there? So you want to have a summary of the book. Keywords. Keywords are highly important for people finding your work. And so for my books, I'm currently like going back through over the words that I chose for my keywords. I think I need to add more to have it be more specific, more niche down. So I might, on top of having things like this is a bedtime story, so on top of having things like bedtime, stories, child, children, sleep, asleep, dreamland, those kinds of things, I might add some things that are like my target audience. So gentle parenting, motherhood, mindset, or some kind of way to the best way, all the words, include as many words as you can to best describe your book, so that when people are searching for things that are similar to your book, you have exactly. So you can put, like, say somebody is looking for a bedtime story for a gentle parent. All of those things, all these keywords, the more you have of exactly what the person is searching for, the more likely that your book will come up. Anyway, a lot of this information is out there in the world, and I'm just kind of trying to condense it to help share as much as I can about how easy this process was for me. And once you get all of these things, you have your checklist, the more simplified it becomes and the easier it is to put together something in a way that is manageable for you. And I would much rather have a few books out that are pretty well done than, like, I have 4 books available and one more that I'm working on right now. This just came out yesterday, and already I'm working, well, not already, I was also working on my other one as I was midway through this when I wrote another one. Anyway, I'll get to that another time. But I would much rather have 4 really pretty well done books than 1 perfect book. One of the things too I wanted to talk about was ordering the proof. So when you order a proof from KDP, not in Ingram Spark or any of the other ones that I've dealt with so far, it has this band that says not for resale. This is just a test to make sure that everything is looking right and proper and all is good. The colors are coming out right, everything is fine. And then once you publish your book, then you're available to purchase books for either selling or to have or to do promotions with. I just used the imagery that I used for the front cover to kind of make these mock-ups, as opposed to waiting for the actual book. Although when the actual book comes, I will do some promotional things for that. And then this came really quickly. Like I said, it all happened in 13 days. So I think I ordered the book. I probably wrote and illustrated the book within 8-9 days. Sent out for the proof, looked over it, decided I needed to split some things up. And then once I did that, I'm assuming everything else will go great with that, sent out for it to be published. I will, as soon as I saw that it went live, I ordered as many copies as that I could afford personally. And so I'm excited to see how they turn out and how people react to it. Yeah, 4 books in, 5, 6, 7. I've written probably, I have the ideas for about 25 books right here. I've fully written probably 15 books. I've written and illustrated 5 books, and then I have 1 book that is like my big dream book, and that I'm still trying to hash out some details. Do I make it into a long illustrated book? Do I make it into a chapter book? There's so much I want to tell in this one story. It's hard to kind of figure out exactly what needs to happen with it, but I know that it needs to be illustrated and a lot of illustrations. So that's a lot like loftier goal, a lot bigger project, whereas this was kind of low-hanging fruit. This was something that I knew that I could do quickly. I'm still really proud of it, and it's done and out there in the world, and it's out of me, and I can hand it to my children, who really it's a gift for them. All of my books are made for my children as part of my legacy to them, and it's just a joy. Obviously, it would be lovely to be making a steady income off of my writing career, but at this point right now I'm looking at it as a gift to my children, which hopefully that changes at some point. All right, well, I think I've spoken enough. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. I would love to hear more about your own journey. So if you are also a self-published writer or illustrator, please let me know what you did to create your books. And I have a link to my books down below, and I would love to hear your input on how you enjoyed them. All right, well, thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful day.